Love is one of the most powerful emotions a person can experience. It has the ability to bring happiness, hope, and meaning into our lives. But sometimes love can also create an intense inner conflict. There are moments when logic tells us that a relationship should end, that moving on is the healthiest choice, and that holding on only prolongs the pain. Yet despite knowing this, the heart refuses to listen. It continues to miss, remember, and long for the person who once meant everything. Have you ever found yourself thinking, I know I should let her go, but I just can't? If so, you are not alone. This emotional struggle is far more common than many people realize. Psychology suggests that strong emotional bonds do not simply disappear when a relationship changes or ends. The brain may understand the reasons for walking away, but the heart often remains attached to the memories, feelings, and dreams that were built together over time. When we fall deeply in love, that person becomes a part of our daily thoughts, routines, and future plans. We become emotionally invested in their happiness, their presence, and the connection we share. As a result, letting go is not just about losing a person, it is about adjusting to a completely different reality. This is why many people continue thinking about someone long after they have decided to move on. Their mind has accepted the situation, but their emotions are still catching up. Psychologists explain that attachment, emotional memory, and hope all play major roles in this process. The memories of happy moments remain vivid, and the desire to reconnect can continue even when there are valid reasons to move forward. This creates a battle between the logical side of the brain and the emotional side of the heart. One side seeks peace through acceptance, while the other keeps searching for reasons to hold on. Understanding these feelings can be incredibly important. It helps us realize that struggling to let go does not make us weak. It simply means that the connection was meaningful. Recognizing the signs of emotional attachment can also provide clarity about where we truly stand and what our heart is trying to tell us. In this video, we will explore 15 powerful signs that your mind says, leave her, but your heart refuses. These signs reveal the hidden psychological reasons why moving on can feel so difficult, even when you know it may be the right choice. Whether you are currently going through a heartbreak, reflecting on a past relationship, or simply curious about the psychology of love, these insights may help you better understand your emotions and the powerful influence that love continues to have over the human heart. You keep thinking about her even when you try not to. One of the strongest signs that your heart is refusing to let go is when thoughts of her continue to appear no matter how hard you try to focus on something else. You may be busy with work, school, friends, or hobbies, yet somehow she finds her way back into your mind. Psychologists explain that emotional attachment creates powerful mental connections that are not easy to break. Even when logic tells you the relationship is over or no longer healthy, your emotions may still be attached to the memories and feelings you shared. Small things such as a place, a smell, a song, or a simple conversation can instantly remind you of her. This constant thinking is often a sign that your emotional mind has not fully accepted the loss. Your heart continues searching for the comfort, connection, and familiarity that once made her an important part of your life. Every song somehow reminds you of her. Music has a unique ability to connect with emotions and memories. When your heart is still attached to someone, songs become powerful triggers that bring those feelings back to the surface. A romantic song may remind you of happy moments together, while a sad song may reflect the pain of missing her. Even songs that have nothing to do with your relationship can suddenly feel connected to her because your brain associates emotional experiences with music. Psychologists call this emotional memory association. It happens because music activates areas of the brain linked to feelings and personal experiences. As a result, hearing certain lyrics or melodies can instantly transport you back to moments you shared. If nearly every meaningful song reminds you of her, it may be a sign that your emotions are still deeply invested. Your mind wants to move forward, but your heart keeps revisiting the past through music. You compare other people to her. When someone leaves a lasting emotional impact on your life, it becomes difficult not to compare others to them. You may meet new people and immediately notice whether they share her qualities, personality traits, or habits. Sometimes the comparison is positive, and other times it prevents you from appreciating someone new. This happens because your heart still uses her as the standard for emotional connection. Psychologists suggest that people often compare new relationships to past meaningful ones when they have not fully processed their feelings. Even if you know the relationship is over, your emotional attachment can make it difficult to see others without measuring them against her. You may notice yourself thinking that nobody understands you like she did, or that nobody makes you feel the same way. These comparisons reveal that your heart is still holding on to the emotional significance she once had in your life. You still check her social media regularly. A common sign that your heart refuses to let go is the urge to keep checking her social media profiles. You may tell yourself that you are only curious, but deep down, you want to know how she is doing, who she is spending time with, and whether she is thinking about you. This behavior is often driven by emotional attachment rather than simple interest. Psychologists explain that people seek information about someone they still care about because it creates a sense of connection, even from a distance. Every post, photo, or update can feel meaningful when your emotions remain involved, while your mind may understand that checking her profile will not change the situation. Your heart continues searching for reassurance, hope, or emotional closeness. The habit becomes difficult to break because each visit temporarily satisfies the desire to feel connected to someone who still occupies an important place in your heart. You replay old memories in your mind. When your heart is struggling to let go, old memories often become a source of comfort and emotional escape. You may find yourself repeatedly thinking about special conversations, shared laughter, memorable dates, or meaningful moments from the relationship. These memories can appear unexpectedly and feel incredibly vivid, as if they happened yesterday. Psychologists believe that the brain naturally revisits positive memories when a person is experiencing emotional loss because it seeks feelings of comfort and familiarity. The problem is that constantly replaying the past can make it harder to accept the present. Your mind knows that life must continue, but your heart keeps returning to moments that once brought happiness and security. The more emotionally significant those experiences were, the stronger the desire to revisit them. This repeated reflection often shows that your emotional bond remains active, making it difficult to fully move forward. You find excuses to contact her. When your heart is still attached, even the smallest reason can feel like a good excuse to reach out. You may tell yourself that you only want to ask a simple question, share a funny post, or check how she is doing. However, the real reason is often deeper than that. Psychologists explain that emotional bonds create a desire for connection, and contact can temporarily satisfy that need. Even when your mind knows that messaging her may not change anything, your heart hopes that the conversation will bring back a sense of closeness. You may spend time thinking about what to say, or feel disappointed when she responds briefly. These repeated attempts to reconnect often reveal that your feelings have not completely faded. Your heart continues searching for a way to maintain a connection, even when logic suggests that creating distance would be healthier for your emotional recovery. You feel jealous when she talks to someone else. Jealousy is often a sign that emotional attachment still exists. If seeing her spend time with another person makes you uncomfortable, sad, or anxious, it may indicate that your heart has not fully accepted letting her go. Psychologists suggest that jealousy often comes from a fear of being replaced or forgotten. Even if you know you no longer have a claim on her attention, your emotions may react differently. You might find yourself wondering who she's talking to, whether she likes someone new, or if she is happier without you. These thoughts can appear even when you genuinely want the best for her. The feeling is not always about control. Sometimes it simply reflects the fact that your heart still values the connection you once shared. When jealousy appears long after a relationship has changed, it often reveals lingering emotional investment and unresolved feelings. You can't fully move on despite your efforts. Some people try everything to move forward. They stay busy, meet new people, focus on personal goals, and avoid reminders of the relationship. Yet despite all these efforts, their feelings remain. This is a powerful sign that the heart is holding on more tightly than the mind would like. Psychologists explain that emotional healing does not always follow a predictable timeline. Deep connections create lasting impressions that cannot be erased simply by deciding to move on. You may have moments where you feel fine, only to suddenly miss her again. The emotional attachment continues beneath the surface, making it difficult to fully close that chapter of your life. While your logical side recognizes that moving forward is necessary, your heart remains connected to the emotions, memories, and hopes that once defined the relationship. This inner conflict often slows the process of emotional recovery. You hold on to hope for reconciliation. Even when circumstances suggest that the relationship is over, your heart may continue holding on to the possibility of another chance. You imagine future conversations, unexpected messages, or situations where everything works out differently, Psychologists note that hope can be comforting because it reduces the pain of loss. Instead of accepting a final ending, the heart keeps a small door open for reconciliation. You may analyze past interactions, searching for signs that she still cares or that a reunion is possible. While hope can sometimes be healthy, it can also make it difficult to accept reality when there is no clear path forward. Your mind may understand the challenges that ended the relationship, but your heart focuses on the positive moments and the possibility of fixing what went wrong. This continued hope often reveals that your emotional attachment remains stronger than your desire to let go. You miss her during important moments of your life. One of the clearest signs that your heart still holds on is missing her when something significant happens. Whether you achieve a goal, receive good news, face a challenge, or celebrate a special occasion, she is one of the first people who comes to mind. Psychologists explain that we naturally think about people who have played meaningful roles in our lives during important emotional moments. You may wish she could see your success, hear your story, or simply be there beside you. These feelings occur because your heart still associates her with comfort, support, and shared experiences. Even when surrounded by friends or family, her absence can feel noticeable. The desire to share important life events with her suggests that she remains emotionally significant to you. Your mind may be trying to build a new future, but your heart still imagines her as part of the moments that matter most. You keep her photos, gifts, or messages. When your heart is not ready to let go, you often hold on to physical reminders of the relationship. Photos, gifts, messages, and small keepsakes may remain stored in places where you can easily revisit them. Psychologists explain that sentimental objects carry emotional meaning because they represent memories and experiences connected to a person. Even if you rarely look at them, knowing they are still there can provide a sense of comfort. Sometimes you tell yourself that you are keeping them for practical reasons, but deep down, they may symbolize a connection you are not ready to release. Looking through old photos or reading past conversations can bring back feelings that seem as strong as ever. These reminders allow your heart to stay connected to the relationship, making it harder to fully accept its ending and move forward with complete emotional freedom. You wonder how she is doing every day. A strong emotional attachment often makes you curious about someone's life, long after they are no longer a regular part of it. You may frequently wonder how her day went, whether she is happy, what challenges she is facing, or what she is doing at that moment. Psychologists suggest that caring deeply about someone creates habits of concern and attention that do not disappear overnight. Your mind may be focused on your own responsibilities, yet thoughts about her well-being continue to appear. You might find yourself hoping she is safe, successful, and happy, even if you have no contact with her. This ongoing curiosity is often more than simple interest. It reflects a lingering emotional bond that keeps her present in your thoughts. When someone remains a daily concern despite distance or separation, it usually means your heart still values and cares about that person deeply. You feel an emotional void without her. Sometimes the strongest sign of attachment is not what you feel when thinking about her, but what you feel when she is absent. You may notice a sense of emptiness that is difficult to explain. Activities that once felt enjoyable seem less exciting, and certain moments feel incomplete without her presence. Psychologists describe this as the emotional gap left behind when a meaningful connection changes or ends. Relationships often become part of our routines, expectations, and emotional support systems. When that connection disappears, the heart notices the absence. Even if your life continues normally on the surface, you may feel that something important is missing. This emotional void does not necessarily mean you cannot be happy again, but it often shows that your feelings have not fully healed. Your heart continues remembering the role she played in your life and struggles. To adjust to life without her, you defend her. Even after the relationship ends, a person who still holds deep feelings often continues, protecting the image of someone they love. If friends or family criticize her, you may feel the urge to defend her or explain her actions. Psychologists suggest that this happens because emotional attachment encourages empathy and understanding. Instead of focusing only on her mistakes, you remember her good qualities and the positive experiences you shared. Even when you recognize that she was not perfect, you may feel uncomfortable hearing negative things about her. This protective attitude often remains because your heart still values who she is and what she meant to you. Defending her does not always mean you want the relationship back. but it can indicate that your emotional connection remains strong. Your mind may acknowledge the problems that existed, while your heart continues appreciating and respecting the person behind those imperfections. Deep down, you still imagine a future with her. One of the most powerful signs that your heart refuses to let go is continuing to imagine her in your future. You may catch yourself thinking about future trips, celebrations, achievements, or life milestones with her by your side. Psychologists explain that when someone becomes part of your long-term vision, removing them from that picture takes time and emotional adjustment. Even if you rarely talk about it, your imagination may still include her in future scenarios. These thoughts often appear automatically because your heart became accustomed